Hi everyone, I'm Chrissy Hannes coming to you on World Card Making Day in an event put on by Stampin' Up! Demonstrators all around the world, bringing you inspiration for World Card Making Day. This event is being hosted by Stephanie Fleischer, and we are all just providing you videos based mainly on a culture. So the culture I'm choosing is the football culture in America. We all know when fall rolls around that many people revolve their lives around football on Saturdays and Sundays. I know my family does. We're huge Ohio State Buckeye fans on Saturdays. So you will find us on Saturdays in front of our television watching football. Not so much on Sundays. We're not much into the NFL, but we love our college football. So the football culture in America is huge. So maybe there's several of you ladies or even men that get more crafting time in on Sundays because perhaps your spouse is big into football and you can't make plans on Sundays, so maybe you get your craft time in on Sundays. So I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera down and we'll show you my project. Okay, so my project is using the Countryside corner dies, the exposed brick 3D embossing folder, and the alphabet a la mode dies, all found in our annual catalog from Stampin' Up! This year. This card actually features no stamping. So it's a very easy card to assemble once you get your pieces cut out. I did use adhesive sheets on my letters. So I'll show you just a trick on how I got my block O shape out of these Countryside dies. I am using the second and fourth smallest dies in the group, and I would just line them up on my red paper where I want them, and then make sure my spacing is even, and then I use Post-it tape to hold my dies in place so that they won't move as I'm running them through the through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So this is how I would run it through, but I've already done that. So in order for me to make a Buckeye card, the closest colors that we have in the catalog are Real Red and Basic Gray. That's the closest I'm going to get to Scarlet and Gray. To me, Poppy Parade was just a little bit too bright. So I went with the Real Red, and Cherry Cobbler was too dark. So I'm just going to use some Tombow to adhere my embossed layer, and this is 4 by 5 1/4 inches, just a standard front layer, and my base is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. So nice and simple layout. I like to use the Tombow because it gives me my wiggle room. Okay. Now, my block O, I've already went and put dimensionals on the back of all of that. I have discovered you could use this for the Oregon teams. The shape isn't quite the same, but you could use Daffodil Delight and Garden Green for Oregon. I think those would be pretty close, or even maybe Shaded Spruce. And then for Oregon State, they're orange, so it would have to be Pumpkin Pie, and probably, I think they're probably Early Espresso or maybe Pecan Pie. All right, so in order to make this work so that our letters will fit, the block O has got to be all the way to the edge of our Basic Gray layer. Otherwise, our letters aren't going to fit. Okay, and now I want to make sure this is nice and lined up on a grid mark. And I'm going to bring in all of my letters that I've die cut out. And I did use adhesive sheets, and I'm just going to do a dry fit on all of these, on where I want them on the card. Come on. It was stuck in another letter. So we're just going to make it say Go Bucks. And the reason I didn't stamp an inside greeting or anything is I'm not quite sure what occasion I'll need to send a card to a fellow Buckeye fan. It could be a birthday, it could just be a thinking of you. So I'm going to do a dry little fit. This is kind of a tight little fit, but we're going to make it work. Okay, and then my other, whoops, that C went wonky. Okay, get them as close as where we think we want them. And then my O, the Go isn't nearly as hard because there's lots of room up there. That's just kind of centering it under the buck or above the bucks. Okay, so now to make sure that I line these up straight, I want my card straight on my grid paper. I bring in a clear ruler and I line it up with a grid mark, a grid line, and then I hold the ruler in place with Post-it tape. Post-it tape gets a lot of use in this craft room. So then we just have to peel off our letters. So I'm going to start in the middle and work my way out. And I did find that my tweezers helped me hold the letters, but do you think I can find them while I'm filming a video? Of course not. So now I have my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm just going to peel up the adhesive paper on all my letters and then place them on the card. So we'll start here with the C and work our way out. When I do my adhesive paper, I do two pieces so that it's easy to pull it up from these small pieces. Because it gives you a piece to start and pull up. This is a little bit tedious. It's the most tedious part of the card, really, is putting these letters on. Oops, get out of there. Okay. But the adhesive sheets definitely work. You could use fine tip glue, but I find the adhesive sheets to be easier than fine tip glue. So you'll have to let me know when you watch the video if you guys are football fans, who you root for. Tomorrow is our high school homecoming here in Crestview, Florida. And I own a convertible Camaro. That's the car I drive. So I am actually driving my car in the parade tomorrow, carrying some members of the homecoming court. And it's a nice, warm, almost 90-degree day here today. The parade's at 3 o'clock, so it's going to be warm. Probably going to have to put my sunscreen on. And I hope the poor girls in these pretty dresses don't have a ton of layers or they're going to get really warm. I did tell her mom to have her bring an umbrella because we have to line up an hour before the parade starts. Alright, so there is our bucks. Make sure I don't put my S on upside down. Ask me, I've done it before. Okay, so there's our bucks. And then the Go, we just kind of center that above the bucks. And I guess I have my dad, of all people, he's a Michigan fan, and that is the Buckeyes' biggest rival. So maybe I'll send this card to him right before we play the big game this year. We kind of joke around with each other. So you know what? Maybe I will. I think I'm going to send this Buckeye card as a joke to my dad, knowing it'll probably end up in the garbage, but that's okay. I love him. Okay. So there's our Go Bucks card. Isn't that cute? And like I said, no stamping. We could stamp something on the inside, but I will just add my white layer to the inside, and then I'll add a greeting later based on what I need to put in it and who I'm sending it to. So no stamping on this card whatsoever. So I did want to add just a little bit of texture. So I took my Stampin' Right marker, my black one. You want to make sure you have no opening pads, nothing, and you're gonna flick. I just flicked it. Just adds a little bit. And then I also used Wink of Stella, which I just had out here. Oh, there it is. I actually put it back where it belongs. And I'm just gonna flick some sparkle on there. So maybe this one won't go to my dad because it's got sparkle on it, but he might get sparkle anyway. So there's my card for you guys for World Card Making Day, talking about the culture of football in North America. So I hope you enjoyed my presentation. I hope you enjoy all the presentation for World Card Making Day, and I hope you get some crafting in yourself. Happy crafting and card making, everybody. Bye.